Hey, good morning, movers and shakers. So I still remember 22 years ago when I got started in financial services. I was 22 years old and I attended my first Monday morning meeting at the firm that I worked with at the time. And I remember coming in and sitting down at the conference room table, and I was tired. And at the last possible second, just as the meeting was beginning, a man rushed in and sat right next to me, and he absolutely reeked of cigarette smoke. And I was annoyed. And Ted was his name. And he parted his hair on the side and he plastered it down in such a way that we all wondered if it was a toupee. He had two outfits that he wore. He had the gray suit with the burgundy tie. He had the navy sport coat with the gray pants and the teal tie. And they weren't expensive clothes. They were probably from JCPenney or Sears. And he wore these two outfits again and again and over again. And it looked like he didn't even untie the ties and tie them back. I could tell from the creases and the wear patterns. I imagined that he probably just slipped the ties loose, took them off, and then put them back on and slid the tie up when he was ready to wear the tie again. And he had an inexpensive car. It was a Ford Escort, I think. And this was not the man who I wanted to be my mentor as I started my career in financial services. I wanted Sandy. Sandy was more outgoing. He had one of these personalities that you were attracted to. He was the type of person that you just wanted to be around. So I asked Sandy to start coming on my client appointments with me. But after a week, maybe 2 weeks, Sandy quickly passed me off to Ted. And I found Ted coming on my client appointments with me. But Ted was articulate. He was extremely intelligent. He loved the stock market. He loved to follow the economy, and he loved to explain things to people. And he was really good at explaining things in a way. He was very interesting to listen to, and you could understand him. And he had this unique voice. There was a combination of this peculiar sound plus the effects of the cigarette smoke and what it had done to his voice over the years. And I had a client who said, I just love to listen to Ted talking. And Ted became my mentor, and he became my friend, and he quickly threw me out on my own and had me doing my own client appointments. And I called him and I would talk to him often for long amounts of time at night, year after year after year. And he was the most giving friend. He was always interested in talking to me. He was always interested in how my business was doing and in being that mentor, that sounding board for questions that I might have, helping me figure out business problems. And he just enjoyed it. He didn't do it because he was getting paid. He wasn't getting anything from the relationship, really. He was giving to me, and he just enjoyed the friendship. And the friendship evolved until maybe 15, 18 years later, I had finally mastered the business, and Ted and I would get into debates about the business. And I remember the time that we had this vigorous debate, and I felt proud at the end of it because Ted had to admit that I had some really good points and that I had developed a mastery of the business. But the lesson today is that things aren't always as they seem. Our first judgment on a person may not be the full truth. It may not be totally accurate. We don't get to know a person after one meeting. We don't get to know a person after 3 meetings. We get to know a person after many meetings. And it's not a person's appearance that matters in the end, it's their actions, the way they behave, the way they treat us. And let's also remember that in business, we always want to have a friend, a mentor, someone who we can learn from. We come to these networking groups to get business, to gain referrals, but that's not all that we gain. Sometimes if we find that friend and find that mentor, we will learn things that will help us make money, and it will be just as good as, if not better, than a referral itself. This has been your educational moment. Brian Wade, Tampa Financial Group.